Well, as the Cubs get closer and closer to taking on the Dodgers, there's a lot to talk about. And the thing that we're keeping an eye on is this Dylan Cease trade and coming out of San Diego, the possibility of making a deal for this ace could be dwindling. We're going to talk about the latest news on Dylan Cease, Matt Shaw with some good news dealing with his oblique issue, and Nico Hoerner's on the mend. So we'll talk about all that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get this thing started. One day closer to opening day. Go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball channel, and appreciate you guys hanging out on the channel as always. Let's get into the topic of the day, and that's Dylan Cease. Is the Dylan Cease deal dead? Well, I don't think that it is. I think that it's still on the table. But the latest news is that Dennis Lin of The Athletic covers the Padres, basically said that AJ Preller, the president of the Padres baseball operations, is pretty open to having a rotation with Dylan Cease, King, Yu Darvish, Nick Pivetta. They just got him from signed him to a 4-year deal. He's with the Red Sox last year. That's a pretty formidable rotation. And basically what he's saying is that if a team is going to get Dylan Cease, that they're going to have to come off the hip, as we like to say. They're going to have to pull that wallet out and make a pretty substantial offer. And for the Cubs, what would that offer be? The Cubs already traded out a first-round pick in Cam Smith. That the Padres would love to have Owen Casey back. We talked about that before. Cubs aren't going to trade Matt Shaw, and we're going to talk about him here in a second. So what would the deal look like? What would the player be that the Cubs would give up? Would you give up Cade Horton? I don't think so. I don't think you'd give up Cade Horton. And I love you guys for getting on my Twitter and got some really cool trade offers. But Dylan Cease is good, but he's a 1-year rental. So you got to be really careful with the talent that you give up if you're going to give up talent to get him. But I'll tell you what, he would make such a significant impact to the Cubs rotation. I mean, just the idea of sliding him in between Shota and Justin Steele at the top of the Cubs rotation. But if you're the Padres and you're trying to beat the Dodgers, when you have a rotation like they boast now, when you're talking about guys like Cease, like King, like Darvish, who used to be a Cub, like Pivetta, that's a 1 through 4 punch that you feel really, really good about. Although starting pitching isn't what it used to be. I mean, this isn't the days of Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine. This isn't Baltimore's Palmer, McNally, Cuellar, and Dobson rotation from 71. Anybody even remember those guys? They all won 20 games. It's not like that anymore because they don't let the starters go as deep into the games. But with that said, you still got to have, and it is important to have starting pitching. So we'll see. I don't know. To me, I would give up Alcantara in a deal like this. I would give Alexander Canario, who's playing a little first base now, to maybe diversify his skill set. I don't think there's a position for him on the team. Maybe that's a way he can make the roster, being a backup to Michael Busch and, right-handed option. I don't know. But what I will tell you is, if you're talking about an Owen Casey, if you're talking about Cade Horton, I don't think you can make this deal, Matt Shaw, either. And maybe that's what the Padres are stuck with right now, saying, hey, or sticking everyone else with, saying, hey, to get this guy, you're going to have to give up this. But part of this could be conjecture, too. I mean, a lot of these guys, these front office guys, throw this stuff out there in the midst of making a deal because they put the pressure on the other front offices and they're going, hey, you know what, this – the front office is reading the same stuff that we're reading. They're hearing the same things we're hearing. And so if they hear that, they know that the bar is here. And for them to get to that bar, they're going to have to give up a pretty good player. Plus, they talk, So we'll see what happens. But that right now, I don't think that the Cease deal's dead, but I do feel like the Padres' asking price is pretty high. Although they'd love to shed that money off the payroll. Matt Shaw getting some good news on the oblique issue. Expects to start throwing. He heard it while he was swinging the bat. You're talking about them taking it easy. It's unlikely that he'll be ready to go to Japan. We'll see. And then what does that mean for the Cubs? They'll have those 2 games. The Cubs haven't said that yet. But when you look at this, a rookie that's trying to win a spot, and now you're dealing with an oblique issue where you're not able to swing the bat, and you're starting to, throwing program. He's got a long way to go, and to be ready for a mid-March major league game, probably not something that's going to happen. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think he could be ready by April opening day. And who knows? He's a young guy. Maybe he proves me wrong, and he's ready to go. But the news is that it's an oblique issue that he's already starting to come back from. And then good news, Nico Hoerner talked to the media. He's on the mend. Nico had the flexor tendon issue. He's not throwing yet to first base, but he said that the surgery that he had in early October has taken well. It's his first surgery, and that he's feeling pretty good, and that he is throwing and not throwing the first, but just starting to do all the things that it takes to get ready to play baseball. And they feel like he'll be ready to go here really soon. So good news for him, and good news for the Cubs. Former Cub Rob Zastryzny is a free agent, and the Cubs could re-sign him. Remember, he was on the 40-man roster. They designated him for assignment. No one signed him, so he basically elected to become a free agent. Now he can negotiate. The Cubs could definitely use some depth pitching-wise. It could come down to money and also the contract as well. You get obviously if you're a left-handed pitcher that can get outs in the big leagues, there's going to be a market for you. So we'll see what happens to him, but we definitely wish him the best. And then finally, the Cubs unveiled their 2025 marketing slogan, and it is "Be here for it." Be here for it. I love those guys that put the marketing together. I've worked with them, and it's always fun to kind of see like what direction they're going. The first commercial is this like guy in the office, and he's just like cheering, and he's got like his chest painted, and he disrupts everybody, and then they're like, oh, you got to be in the bleachers for that, right? Pretty cool. Be here for it. So we'll be being here for it all year long, right here on the Cubs baseball channel. But guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Appreciate the numbers, appreciate the views, the shares, all that stuff. We'll keep on covering this team. And look, I'm feeling better today, so you don't have to tell me that my voice sounds bad. Hopefully I sound better. Obviously, I'm not in my home studio, but wherever we go, we're going to throw a show your way. So like, subscribe, thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again real soon. We'll keep an eye on this third base thing. Not much movement yesterday. Maybe something will happen in that direction today. Go Cubs.